Hi, this is Davey from Peace Officers UK. So I want to start with a warning to the awake community. Anybody who is planning on going abroad at all, whether it's for an Easter break, Easter coming up next week, or a summer holiday with the summer coming up, or maybe even just a day trip to Calais on a booze cruise. If you are planning to go abroad and you have been on protests, or you posted memes or support for Palestinians, for example, anything really that goes against the COVID stuff, posted about the jabs, all that sort of stuff, then you're going to be, or it's likely that you're going to be on a database, right? Now, I've got a very good friend who went away for a week, a few weeks ago, came back, and when they came back, their passport wouldn't scan, right? So they tried it a few times, wouldn't scan. This person was directed to an officer who then checked their passport, asked for the boarding pass, and then they were surrounded by officers and detained under paragraph 6 of Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000. Now, the Terrorism Act 2000 was obviously created due to the IRA attacks that we used to get throughout the 80s and 90s, etc. However, the last IRA attack was 1996, which I believe was in Docklands, February 1996. The Good Friday Agreement was signed in 1998, yet the terrorism legislation was created in 2000. Now, this is before 9/11, before 7/7, so purely it was to do with IRA that we used to have in this country. However, it's being used, it's my belief that it's being used to seize the phones of anybody who goes against the government narrative at any opportunity. And of course, when you go on holiday or you go abroad, or as I say, you go a day trip to Calais, you no longer have the laws of the land protecting you. You're classed as being port side, okay? Once you go through the gate, once you go through their barriers, you're port side, and therefore subject to a whole different set of laws. Now, they don't read you your rights. You're not under caution. You do have to answer all of their questions. It states within Schedule 7 that you do not have the right to remain silent. If you decide not to answer their questions, you commit a criminal offence under paragraph 18 of Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000. A criminal offence to keep quiet, to exercise your right to silence. Unbelievable. Now, if this was just a random check, then my friend would have been questioned briefly. They were held for 3 hours. They can hold you up to a maximum of 6. My friend would have been released with their phone. No problem, we're happy, you say you are who you say you are. However, they seized their phone and kept their phone for a week. They can hold it up to 6 days. I imagine that comes under some kind of customs and excise laws or something as to why it's only 6 days, because if you're arrested on land in the country and they seize your phone as evidence, that can be held indefinitely. I mean, they you know, it could be a year later and they're still holding it as evidence. So the fact that they've only got 6 days suggests to me that it's all completely admiralty law, because you're not considered to have landed until you are landside. I don't know if anyone's seen any of the border force TV programs that are on the telly, where they will pull somebody aside, they'll question them, they'll search their luggage, and when they're happy, they will tell them that they are going to land them, okay? Even though they're standing on land, makes no difference. You're not considered to be landed until you cross that barrier. And then the laws of the land apply to you. But whilst you haven't got the laws of the land applying to you, suddenly you find you have no rights. So personally, I would say if you're going to holiday anywhere, holiday in your own country for starters. But if you can't resist a Mediterranean beach, don't take your own phone. Okay, you'd be mad to, because the information that they want off your phone, it's not that they wanted my friend to say is not involved in any kind of criminal activity or terrorism activity or involved in groups that are to do with terrorism. So that's not really what they're interested in. They were asked, who do they support, Israel or Hamas? Which is an odd question really, isn't it? Do you support a country or a democratically elected political party, albeit having been deemed as a terrorist organisation by certain Western nations? Why didn't they say to my friend, who do you support, Israel or Gaza? Well, of course they won't do that because they're pushing a narrative. So, yeah, they seized my friend's phone, and of course that crippled my friend for a week, because that is your life on your phone. This is the thing, you're carrying your life in your pocket, your internet banking, every conversation you've had, yeah, your text messages, your social media messages, your private WhatsApp messages, your private photographs, your contacts list, your calls log, everything, all that information in your pocket. So you don't want to lose that. So I would suggest, if you're going away, if you're going abroad, expect to lose it. In which case, you should probably leave it at home. Yeah. If you really want to take a camera for your shots, you don't want to be telling people anyway on social media that you're currently on holiday and telling every burglar in the neighbourhood that your house is empty. Post your photographs when you get home. You know, protect yourself. But if you do want to take a phone, maybe for an emergency contact, take a burner phone. Buy a cheap second-hand smartphone on eBay. Don't log into any of your social media accounts on it. Just use it purely for Google Maps or for emergency contact and for taking your holiday snaps. That way, if when entering the country, re-entering the country, having attended protests and therefore probably flagged up to detain, as I say, not arrest, but to detain. The threat of arrest comes if you refuse to answer their questions or you refuse to provide them with any PIN numbers or passwords related to your device that they've seized. That's a criminal offence under paragraph 18 of Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000. So be aware of this, because there's a lot of information, even though it's harmless information. It's the groups you belong to on Telegram. It's every conversation you've had, everybody you've been in contact with, your entire Google history. All of that is downloadable and feedable into a database, and therefore feeding an algorithm that can detect what meetings we're having. These meetings, they're not terrorist meetings. They're nothing to do with terrorism. You know, it might be how to distribute leaflets, for example. Meetings to get an update on some planned protests. But this is valuable information. They need to know which organisations, which groups they need to infiltrate, so they know every single move we make. Now, as I say, we're not making illegal moves. We're doing everything peaceful, lawful, legal. But that doesn't matter to them. All they want is to feed that algorithm, or their algorithms. Yeah, because it gives them a better picture of the network, the private conversations, the sort of things that are being said to each other in private, who you're connected to, who you've spoken to, who's spoken to you, who they're connected to. So you're not just protecting your data when you leave your device at home, your main device, the one you want to come back off holiday and pick up and be able to use as normal, as if you never went away. And if you want to do that, then take a device you don't mind them taking. You know, you'll get your photos back eventually after 6 days. It actually took, I think, 7 days for my friend, but hey ho, what's a day? So just be aware of what they're doing without you realising. Yeah. Forewarned is forearmed. Okay. If you don't want to lose your entire life on a device, keep that device safe from people who may wish to take it from you, because there's valuable information stored on your phone, everybody's phone, and they want that information, especially the encrypted information. Thank you all for listening. Sorry to have bored you. Have a peaceful life. Bye-bye.